Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mental Tide podcast. My name's Dean, and with me today is Big Chocker himself, Chris. Chris, how are you, dude?
Good, thanks, Dino. Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate
Ab-
it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I saw your stuff on social media. I saw the personal training stuff that you were doing, and um, the thing that actually caught my eye first off was the work you're doing around domestic violence and supporting the foundation that you're working with. So that was the first thing that sort of brought my attention to you, and I was like, who is this big hunk of man over here? What's he doing? What's he promoting? What's he talking about? And
Yep.
from then on, I reached out to you and seeing the great stuff that you do with that and your journey with your family and with your personal training, which is amazing. Um, Tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you? Where you're from? What's your background? What's the crack, mate? What's going on?
Yeah, sweet, man. So pretty much I grew up in the North Shore of Sydney. Everyone likes to
Nice.
think it's sunshine and rainbows, but I think me and my friends can all attest that that is not the case.
Mm.
Um, a bit of background into myself to start with. So I'm adopted
Yep.
into a Greek family, Colombian born,
Yep.
which I think caused a lot of turmoil as I hit the teen years, adolescence, puberty,
Mm.
in terms of belonging, who am I, abandonment, so on and so forth, which I think led me down a pretty vicious cycle of drugs, alcohol, crime, you name it, we
Yep.
did it sort of thing.
Yep.
Um, and I think only as of late, I sort of came to this point in my life. I was like, you know what? I think it's more beneficial being a positive role model in this life and doing good instead of that path that I was on for so long.
Mm.
So I thought to myself, what would have changed my life when I was 16 to 18 to 20, let's say,
Mm.
before my first son was born? And I came to the realization that we had no positive role models. We had older boys there and they were great. They'd back you up, they'd look after you, they'd buy you booze, help
Yep.
you get drugs, whatever.
Yep.
But realistically, what positive role model were they?
Mm.
Sweet fuck all.
Yeah.
And I think that would have changed the trajectory of a lot of lives if we did have one, two, three positive role models.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of friends to suicide, drug overdose. There's been a murder involved as well,
Yep.
and it sort of sat on my mind for a long time. And I thought, you know what? No one else seems to be doing it. Everyone
Mm.
else seems to be stuck in that same old rut. Like I've still got friends bendering every weekend, and I
Yep.
don't judge them whatsoever, man. It's only been recently that I've managed to hang the boots up and stop myself.
Yep.
And everyone runs their own race, but I just thought, you know what? I'm going to try and make a change. And that's where Mac coaching came into it. So MAC, make a change.
Yep.
And here we are, man. I'm just doing my best.
I love it, man. I love it. What was that? Having the so thanks for sharing that because that's awesome and
Yeah, you're all good.
that's a really good foundation for us to understand who you are. When you decided to hang up the boots, on the adventurous stuff that you would chase, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How was that? Like, what was that feeling when you made that decision? Because I've you know we've all struggled with our demons in the past, right?
100%.
And it's difficult to relinquish control of things that can overcome us so rapidly and so quickly, and we can become
For
slaves
sure.
to that sort of um, environmental behaviors. People we
Yeah.
hang around, people the things that we do, we
Yeah.
just become subjects really into that establishment. For you, what happened when you gave up all of those temptations and all of those things that you were steering from because you wanted to do the right thing for yourself and then for the people that you were bringing into this world as well?
100%. So I think it all started for me. I gave up a percentage of it when my son was first born. So my first partner fell pregnant when I was 19.
Yeah,
He was born when I was 20.
gotcha.
And I say to this day that my eldest son saved my life because
Mm,
was on a shocking trajectory, surrounded by shitty people, also surrounded by good people that I still am in touch with, but a lot of
yeah,
shit,
yeah,
just
yeah.
people that were not advantageous to life. Like, and I look at them now, and again, it's not judgment, but a lot are in jail, a lot of stuck in addiction. Like I
Mm,
could have just been another statistic in that sort of sense. But in terms of the drugs and alcohol, I didn't hang up the boots there and then when he was born. I actually did go sober for a while when he was born,
Right.
but then sort of it slowly slips back in. Being in construction in Australia, I don't give a fuck what anyone, if even anyone wants to argue this point, you're
Yeah.
surrounded by alcoholics and drug addicts.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who you are to tell me otherwise. You're
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
You come in after a long weekend to any site in Australia,
Yeah.
there is a 100%, a 90% chance that 90% of the boys have had a bender. Whether it
I
just
don't
be
doubt
on the
it.
booze, yeah,
Yeah.
whether it just be the booze, the bags, the ice, whatever the fuck their poison of choices, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost naturally you slip back into that lifestyle. You
Mhm.
know, it's a few beers after work on a Wednesday, it's a few beers after work on a Thursday. Before you know it, it's Friday. The boys are like, oh, let's call the bag, man. Let's get on it, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Babies with your grandparents or with their parents, you know,
Mm.
and it's so normal, man. And a lot
Mm.
of construction boys would probably be able to um, understand where I'm coming from because they're like, fuck, like he's
Yeah.
right. You
Yeah.
know, we all do it, but you
Yeah.
lose just there's no thought behind it.
Mm.
But for me, the biggest point I think was COVID. So in COVID, man, I fell into a rut. I was fit as a fiddle pre-COVID. I was probably the lightest I've ever been, 80 kilos, training Muay Thai, gym, 7 days a week, all up pretty
Yeah.
much. Like very, very fit,
Mm.
skinny as, looked like half of what I am now.
Yeah.
And then walked into COVID, gyms closed, Muay
Yeah.
Thai closed, and all I could do was work. And
Mm.
then all that was left to do after work was drink. So then I went from being a Friday, Saturday drinker to an everyday ends in Y, I'm drinking.
Jeez. Wow.
And it got to the point where I was probably having 10 to 12 standards daily.
Fuck.
And man, I blew up like a balloon. I looked like shit. I felt like shit.
Mm.
Not to mention that I was getting on the bags
Mm.
fucking Friday night, Saturday night,
Yeah.
just blowing money, bro. Money that I didn't even have. But
Yeah.
because you had nothing to do during COVID, you think,
Mm.
oh, well, what else am I going to do? You know, and I can get into that. That's a whole nother kettle of fish, so to
Mm.
speak. But
Mm.
the games that they played on the mind there were huge. Like the amount of depression just skyrocketed, suicide
Yeah.
skyrocketed, everything went to shit.
Yeah.
But for me, it was coming out of COVID, I think. I think it was after the second lockdown. I remember
Mm.
waking up one morning, I'd had a big night, and I rolled out of bed and I was sort of slumped over a little bit like this and looked in the mirror, saw a gut, and I was like, fuck, I don't like that. Looked at myself and I was like, who the fuck are you?
Yes.
You know, and it's like that coin drop moment for me that was like, you've got to fucking change like
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Something's got to fucking give. And
Yeah.
not to mention, I think it had been only maybe a month prior.
Mm.
I'd gone out. I think it was between lockdowns, like where they sort of opened back up, or I can't really remember the timeline. It's all a big blur to me because of
Mm.
whatever I did.
Yeah.
But I remember going to a footy game with some workmates and I got absolutely blind drunk, piss
Mm.
drunk, fell over, nailed my head on a fence. I'll find the photo if you want to put it in the podcast. You can put it on an overlay, bro. I got a massive egg on my head. I looked
Yeah.
disorientated as fuck.
Yeah.
Went missing for 3 hours. My mate found me, got me home, and my old man's a doctor. So over the next few days, both my eyes started to go black.
Oh shit.
And that's a sign of like a hairline skull fracture.
Oh.
So that was another big wake up call. I was like, you're actually doing so much damage to yourself that you could have really fucked yourself up physically.
Yeah.
My emotional health was fucked. My mental health was finished.
Mm.
So I think that was the big thing for me. Like I just waking up that day, looking in the mirror and realizing like, you are a scumbag.
Mm.
And I just said it to myself. I go, you're a piece of shit. Like
Yeah.
you aren't who you used to be. You've let all these vices overtake your life. Like
Yeah.
it was pure escapism.
Mm.
And from that day, I'm pretty much yet went a whole year sober
Wow.
straight away.
Great,
I
great
said,
job, man.
yeah, just straight away. I was like, you got to fucking do it. Like,
Yeah.
no one's coming to save me. All my friends were in the same cycle. Like, it's me versus me.
Mm.
In saying this, I work with people that do have addiction issues. I have friends with addiction issues. It's not that simple for everyone.
No.
Not everyone can wake up and say, I'm stopping.
Mm.
Like, my habits haven't been or weren't daily for years and years and years and years. So
Mm.
anyone listening, I don't suggest cold turkey for fucking anyone without serious medical advice because it's a recipe for disaster.
Mm.
But yeah, that's pretty much where I well and truly hung them up, so to speak. Like I still dabbled here and there since COVID.
Mm.
But as of late, I've started a full sober journey again because I noticed patterns creeping back in that I didn't really like. And
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
sort of freaks you out when you have that self-awareness. You know, you see what's happening
Absolutely, man.
and you wake up
Absolutely.
one morning and you're like, why am I doing this again?
Man, you're right. And the thing that is the biggest win, and I say this with the people that I work with, is your self-awareness is 50% of the job.
That's exactly what I say to my clients.
50% of the job is self-awareness. If you can
Yeah.
come to me and go, I fucked up. I know what it is. I know
Mm,
where I've tripped. I just need help getting back on. Bro, I'll take you the other 50. Just
yeah.
having that 50% straight off the bat is half the job, man. And
Yeah.
so because we're not silly. We know it's just what choose my words. So consciously we're aware of where we fall. It's just that decision and that choice to go, well, do I just lay down there and just like
Yeah.
continue to be that victim and continue to cop it? And then when things fall over, just make it, oh, like poor me, or do you just go, no, this is fucking enough. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm
That's right.
done. I've got that awareness. I know that I do this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. This is me
Mm.
making a choice going, it's time to wake the fuck up.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. It's all about accountability, man. Like,
Yeah,
and that's the
absolutely.
biggest thing. I say exactly the same thing to my clients. Like, the fact that they are self-aware of whether they're unfit, they're overweight, whether they
Mm.
have issues,
Yeah.
whatever it may be, I
Mm.
tell them, I go, you have made the biggest step by purely recognizing that fact.
100%.
Because that's all it takes, man. And I know some people will say, oh, it's not all it takes, but realistically, if they if they're saying that that's not all it takes, they're
Mm.
not accountable on themselves.
They're not aware whatsoever what's going on in their
No,
life.
that's exactly right.
They
And that was
are an NPC, as I like to call them.
100%, man.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And unfortunately, in the day and age that we live in, like I'm only 28 years old, but a lot of clients of mine, people I meet, they all seem to say, oh, you've sort of got an older head mentality. But what I realized, even my generation, yeah, everyone's a victim. Everyone's like, oh, I give you an example, right? A bloke
Yeah.
got done DUI that I know.
Yeah.
He goes, they always get me. Well, hang on a second, dickhead.
Yeah.
You were driving under the influence.
You knew
They
what you
don't
were getting
always
yourself
get
into.
you.
Mm.
You just always get caught. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same with relationships. It's relationships. It's the same with life in general. It's the same with opportunities that come people's way. They go, "Oh, I didn't get an opportunity because fucking the world hates me." It's like, no, mate, you're not good enough, and you don't have the accountability to realize you're not good enough.
And that's where the growth is, right? That's you are spot on because that's where everything shifts and that's where everything moves, right?
Yeah.
Depending on how spiritual you want to get on this, because I can go pretty fucking woo woo, but
Yep.
what you put out there is what you get back. If you keep sitting there going, I'm a fat piece of shit and nobody likes me, you know what you're going to get?
Yeah.
Exactly that.
You're a fat piece of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
no
right.
one's going to like you. That's what they do. If you keep bringing into you that, man, I always get pulled over by the cops. You're fucking right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. If
Yeah,
you
that's right.
100%, and if you keep again bringing that in and magnetizing that to yourself,
Mm.
imagine what would happen. I love to play what ifs with my clients. What if you didn't think that way, and what if you
Yeah.
just spun it and was like,
Yeah.
I'm a legend, and
Yeah.
I'm going to work on myself, and I'm going to get better, and
Yeah.
I'm going to stay out of trouble. Great. At
Yeah.
least now you're bringing that unconscious part of your brain to the forefront and going,
That's right.
consciously, I'm doing the right things. And
100%.
mate, people will shift like that. It's all up here. It's
Yeah.
all mental.
It's about getting rid of the negative feedback loop. That's
Absolutely,
it's
mate.
the biggest thing, man. Like if you can change your mindset about or from negative to positive,
Mm,
your whole out view or your whole view on life, should I say,
yeah,
changes straight away.
absolutely,
And,
man.
and immensely as well. Like you realize that life changes for you. So, like you're saying, and I'm very woo woo with it as well.
Yeah,
The whatever you put out, you get back 100%. And I
yeah.
think I even test like I've tried and tested this my whole life. I used to think
Mhm.
bad things coming through, yeah. Always, man. And every time people say it, I get like that, oh fuck, why do you even put that energy out there?
Yeah,
Because of
it's gonna
course,
happen.
if you all put it out there, you all think about it 100%, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Shit will go wrong, you know?
yep.
And I remember one day, it was a while ago now, but I'd sort of started doing journaling in the morning, intentions, gratitude, so on and so forth. Remember one day I was driving to work and I looked in my side mirror and my fucking tire just rolled away from the car. I'm like, fuck, that ain't good. And instead of the straight away bad things come in three, I was like, it's all going to be all right, man. No drama. Everything will work out. And you know what? Everything did work out. There was a
Yep.
bloke that lived near me that literally was passing me, picked me up for work, got me to work on time. My
Yep.
car got towed and fixed for free. Like everything changes if you can change your headspace. And
100%, mate.
people don't believe it. Like people don't believe that energy is so
Real.
important or real. Yeah, real is probably the best way to put it. They're like, oh,
Mm.
this is bullshit. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
it's really
start
not.
playing with it.
Yeah.
Start playing with it and see what happens.
One of the things that they taught us when I did my training, my NLP training,
Yep.
um, Liz, who's an absolute star, she teaches you that, and when you say it to people, they go, "Oh, okay." That life is happening through you. It's not happening to you. It's
Mm,
happening through you. And
100%.
you're allowing things to happen. You're choosing things to happen. You're feeling things because you're choosing to feel things, and you're bringing situations into the forefront because you're allowing it to happen. But if you
Yeah.
sit there and go, it's happening to me, why is it happening to me? Why is all this shit happening to me?
Mm.
What do you expect is going to come from that? Whereas you've got
Big.
that control.
Yeah.
You've got that through me element. You've got both hands. And another thing that I like to use with my clients is, and this came to me, I don't know how the fuck it came to me, but I remember the words leaving my mouth and my client just going, "Oh, dude, what does that even mean?" But like when you're a driver in your life, right? You picture yourself in a car and you're driving a car, you're in control, right? You want
Yep.
to be the driver, not the passenger. Passenger means that somebody else is controlling your shit.
Hmm.
And this guy was just fighting all these demons and fighting this control. And I said to him, you know what, dude? Sometimes the best way to take control is to let go of the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And he was just like, fuck. And he was just like
Yeah. Yeah.
blown
Yeah.
away. I was like, bro, just let it fucking go. Just let it
Yeah.
happen. Whatever happens,
Yeah.
happens. Stop trying to choke hold everything and to
That's
strangle the
right.
life, because you're not helping yourself. You're confining yourself into such a pigeonhole, and you're not
Yeah.
letting yourself experience things and evolve with things. You are just like so regimented in your life that when
Mm.
something doesn't go your way, or when one thing goes balls up, you're just like, fuck, great. Everything's just
Yep.
capitulated. And you're just like, bro, just chill the fuck out. Just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
relax. Just let it
100%,
go.
man.
Just let it go, man. Just
Yeah.
fucking roll with it.
Yeah.
And it's,
It's a,
it's,
it's a
mm,
good thing to say, man. It's a good thing to get clients to understand. Like my my saying's a little bit different. It's like everything, like life happens for us.
mhm,
Do you
mhm,
know what I mean? So there's
mhm,
always a lesson behind things. But
mm,
coming back to so-called like letting go of the steering wheel, as you say,
mm.
a big thing that I like to teach is that let's say your life feels like it's falling apart.
Yep.
Write it all down.
100%.
Go through every single thing that you think is falling apart
Mm.
and pick out the ones that you can genuinely control.
Absolutely, dude.
And if you
100%.
can't control 90% of them, guess what?
Yeah.
You ain't changing them.
Nope.
There's nothing you can do. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how upset, angry,
Yeah.
fucking depressed you get about it.
Yeah.
If you can't control, let's say 9 out of 10, they
It is
aren't
what it
going to
is.
change. The
Yeah.
only thing that you can change is how you react to them. So you
Mm,
got to stop giving it the power over
mm.
you because
Yeah.
you can't change anything about it as is.
Spot on. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And something that I've been meaning to ask you
Yeah.
is, when did the switch flip for you to really go full into the PT work that you do? So was this realization in yourself like, oh fuck, I've got to do work on me. Like I've got to get back into my primitive shape of where I was,
Yep.
the 80 kilos, you know, fully cut, doing all the
Mm,
shit. What was the
mm.
flick for you to go, PT is where I'm at?
So, funnily enough, man, I did my certificates back when I was 19.
Yeah, righto.
It
Yep.
was something that I'd sort of always been interested in it, but then I
Mm,
never utilized it. Like I was a boilermaker by trade.
yeah.
I fucking hated it. I was
Yeah.
shit at it. If my
Yeah.
best mate listens to this, he'll laugh his head off that I've admitted it because he always says, I floated you through tape, dickhead. And he did. Right. I was rubbish at my fucking trade. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I fell into cranes and
Awareness,
mobile.
Chris. You've got that awareness,
Yeah,
mate. Good on
that's
you.
exactly right. It's and mobile cranes, bro, tower cranes, anyone in an EBA or union, like company will know that that's where the cash is.
Yeah.
Like, there's fucking coin. Yeah. And what happens when you fall into a job where you can make 2 to 4 grand clear every week, bro?
Yeah.
You let go of all your other fucking aspirations because you think this is too good to pass up.
Yep.
And along with that money, like I said before, comes the enabling of habit. You can afford to live, even in Sydney, man. Even now, you can afford to live, and you can afford to still have shit habits, and
Yes.
you can still afford to pay for everything your kids want, everything your missus wants, without a drama.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the switch came for me, obviously, after COVID. I had to fix myself up a lot. I had to get back to where I wanted to be. I also ran into medical issues. I'll touch on it quickly. I'm prescribed TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, whether it be due to the damage of partying for so many years when I was young, whether it be the damage from COVID that I inflicted on myself as in partying more.
Yeah.
My body pretty much shut down its own testosterone supply.
Gotcha.
Gone, zero. Like, I went down to 3 nanomole per liter.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is fuck all. Like, I reckon a 90-year-old man would have more test than I did at that point.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So, and I did a lot of healing over that time as well. And I think that all needed to happen before I pulled the trigger with PT. And I pretty much started at the start of this year with my coaching, accountability coaching, mentoring, and PT. I think it all just came at the right time. I was with a mobile crane company that was going very quiet. And instead of complaining like a lot of other people do when construction goes quiet, I was like, you know what? I've got to make money elsewhere. Complaining is not going to pay my fucking bills.
That's it.
I've got to keep food on the table. I've got a young family. I've got 2 kids and a wife or fiance.
Yeah.
I've got to do something. So I was like, you know what? Now's the fucking time. And I pulled the trigger, man. And unfortunately, that boss and I didn't end up seeing eye to eye. So he actually put me back to casual, which in any words in construction, man, it means they're not going to use you again.
Gotcha.
So it was scary, bro, but it was the push that I needed. You know, it's like you're on your own, mate. This is the universe's way of telling you, go for fucking gold. And since bringing in that positive feedback loop that we were talking about before, opportunities pop up left, right, and center, man. Instead of it all being negative, instead of freaking the fuck out, oh, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent, it's like, I'll be okay. We'll sort this out. And now I've got a great casual job on cranes still.
Yeah.
Can't fault it. Fucking love it. Blokes are champions.
Yeah.
The money's better than the mobile cranes. Like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I've got clients coming in.
Yeah.
I'm helping people. I'm helping people change their lives. Like, it's what you fucking want, you know?
That's it, dude. That's awesome.
It's what,
I love it.
It's what it's all about.
Fuck yeah, man. And that's all positive shit. And look at that. It's, you know, how a mindset shift can play out for you in such a positive way. And you can benefit so heavily from just shifting the way that you're looking at things.
100%, man.
You know, it's mad. I love it. And, you know, I'm sure that your PT work will absolutely pick up, you know, because I got a good feeling from you just over messages and just in the interactions that we've had over the voice chats and whatnot. And, you know, mate, like I reached out to you yesterday, the day before, about, you know, I'm hitting the gym back up. What's something that I can do? Like, you know, I know there's no magic pill, but like, what is something that I can do? And when I was there this morning, when I was doing the exercises, all I could visualize in my head was your text. And I was just like, cool, I just got to make it controlled, feel each rep and just, you know, sit in with it. So I'm sure that, mate, your PT stuff is just going to pump, bro.
Yeah. I hope so, man. We'll see what happens.
Love that, dude. Talk to me about what you're wearing.
So this is my Make a Change hoodie.
Great.
I brought them out. Across the back, it says Protector. So pretty much since that Bondi attack, which was fucking horrible, really showed that there aren't many men left in, I'll say Bondi, because if that was in Western Sydney, I think it would be different. And again, I'll probably upset some people saying that, well, I don't really give a fuck.
That's all right, mate.
Along with the Bondi and then unfortunately all the domestic violence deaths that have happened this year, I thought, you know what, someone's got to do something, right? And it's not a massive thing. It's literally all it is. It's a visual representation that people in the public still care about other people in the public.
Love it.
And my whole life, I've considered myself, and even friends of mine have told me, like that I am exactly that, a protector.
Mm,
I grew up in a great household, but it was pretty bumpy in its own little ways,
sure.
right? So mum and dad argue all the time.
Mm,
There was physical altercation here and there,
mm,
and it happened at an age where I was too young to do anything about it, right? And for anyone that's listening that has experienced DV when you are a child and you are the witness, it leaves this helpless feeling. Is absolutely fuck all you can do about it. You can try your hardest. You ain't changing shit.
mm,
All right. And for me, I think that's what instilled the protector sort of mentality into me,
yeah.
because my whole life I looked out for people smaller than me, weaker than me, even fucking blokes that were bigger than me. If they were in trouble, man, I was there. Didn't matter,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So the whole idea is pretty much you are a beacon of light for people that need it.
Gotcha.
And it's funny, like at first there was a lot of backlash, like, oh, predators could buy it and whatnot. But anyone with half a brain cell, right? Yes, you have probably a 1% of predators that would like to stand out. But the 99%, man, they hide in the shadows. They're
Mm,
fucking petrified of being outed.
mhm.
So realistically, that sort of fell apart, and then the positive traction came in, and they were like, that's awesome. Like, it's so good to see that someone, and especially a male, is trying to shed light on such an important thing, being domestic violence in Australia at the moment. And
Yeah.
it runs rife, man, and it runs rife in every country. I feel
Mm,
some countries they accept it. I'm not going to get into that.
mm,
That's cultural,
yeah.
whatever. But in Australia, man, it's not on. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter what the excuse is. Doesn't matter if you catch your missus sleeping with your best mate. Flog your best mate. Leave your missus alone. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
leave her. Pack your stuff. Take the kids. Bye bye. There's
Yeah.
no need to lay your hands on a woman.
Mm,
Doesn't matter. Like,
mm,
no excuses, man.
yeah.
And it's quite sickening. Like personally, like I said, growing up witnessing it it's disgusting. It's
Mm,
not right. It's not okay. Um, Unfortunately, I don't think it will ever disappear.
mm,
But I think the lesser a taboo subject it is, the better. Because
yeah.
I know, actually, I was thinking the other day about this. Someone asked me, I don't think I know any woman in my life that hasn't been assaulted or abused
Mm. In some way, shape, or form.
in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form. And
Yeah.
you know what? I could even say 98% have been abused or assaulted in a physical manner.
I think you're right there. And I think there's also we as men, this is my interpretation as well.
Mm,
We don't understand the fear that emanates from females for things that we don't take for granted. So
mm-hmm.
walking on the street,
Yeah, man.
a parking garage, things that we just are just like, whatever, like, why the fuck would I be scared?
Yeah, bro.
Is terrifying for them. I read a book. It's skipped my mind. I'll put it in the podcast notes once I remember it. But
Yeah, you're right, bro.
basically, the premise behind it, it's about men understanding women. Okay.
Yep, yep.
And the author speaks about how they conducted a they conducted a survey on 100 men and 100 women
Mm-hmm.
in a room,
Mm,
and they asked men, in the past year, when have you feared for your life? None of them put their hand up.
mm,
Right, and they did it over a period of time. So it started at a week, started at a month, and then it ended at a year. Right, then they asked the same question to the females, and it was, when in the past year, or put your hand up if you feared for your life in the past year. Pretty much all the hands went up.
mm-hmm.
When in the past couple of months have you feared for your life? Hands went up. And then they spun it and they said, have you feared for your life today? And hands went up. And then they started talking. They started asking questions. And
Mm,
what was it today in this situation that made you fear for your life? And all the answers, and they're very clever about it. They strategically did this because they knew this was going to be the answer. Is that where the seminar was held was in a hotel. And there was a
mm-hmm.
parking garage where everybody had to park. The parking
Yeah,
garage is where all the females felt fear for their life.
yeah, bro.
Things that we wouldn't even.
We
interprets
don't even
fear,
think about that,
we don't
man.
even consider it. But
Nah.
just something as minute for us, I'm not saying it's a small thing, but for me and for I
Yeah.
dare say you, we wouldn't
Yeah.
even consider it.
No,
But
no way.
just that little shit that is glossed over and not brought up, not talked about enough, not brought to the surface enough,
Mm.
where the legitimate fear and concern for their life is. And
Yeah, man.
it's mind blowing.
It's funny you say this, right? So my partner, she's one of those women that I feel this is quite normal these days, but she listens to all these crime podcasts and she listens to all these serial killers and shit like this. And I think, why do you listen to that? Like, it just creeps you out even more. And she's like, no. She goes, it actually has taught me where I should be more aware and that I should be more aware in general. Right.
Educational.
Correct. So she grew up in the Northern Beaches.
Yeah.
Um, quite safe, so to speak. Like anywhere, man. You've got your dodgy suburbs and whatnot, and
Yeah.
your areas where there are scumbags and shit people and whatnot. But you know, for the most part, you don't hear much going on from Palm Beach to Newport. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
pretty tame.
Yeah.
But she did start listening to this, and it's funny because I asked her one day, I go, what is it that you've learnt? And she goes, well, if I'm in a dark car park, I'll walk with my keys between my knuckles. And I think, fuck, why? Why? And she goes, oh, well, if anyone grabs me, like they're getting a key in them. And I'm like, whoa, like
Yeah.
not once in my life. Like, don't get me wrong, man. Like, even coming from partaking in somewhat criminal activity, if you want to call it that, drug deals, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
even to this day, I will always read a room. I'll look around. I'll see who could
100%.
be a threat. I'll look at a way out. And especially after things like Bondi, I think men are becoming more, well, not all men, but men are becoming more aware of how do I get out of here? How would I protect my family? What am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I've always been like that. But
Same.
not once have I thought to myself, I'm going to hold something sharp in my hands because if someone grabs me, I'm going to fuck them up.
Yeah.
And
100%.
that was a real wake up call for me. Like
Yeah.
for my own fiance to tell me that she does that when I'm not around, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Like that's to me, that's mind boggling, man. We're in fucking
Dude,
Australia.
100%. But you know
Like,
what, Chris? But you know what's crazy is that my wife's got the same thought process.
mhm.
We live in Port Stevens,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
very sleepy area, especially
very
where
much
we
so.
are, right? And we've spoken about before, like taking turns on going for walks and runs so that someone can stay with the kids and whatnot.
Yeah,
She won't go at certain times because it's too dark.
yeah, understandable.
Which for me, I'm just like I was out at 4:30 this morning. Going, and I was just like, whatever. Like I saw,
Yeah,
it's just in the sides of the fucking kangaroo I saw this morning driving down. I was just like, this is, I couldn't believe it. Oh, I had to have a
yeah,
double take. Oh, this thing was
yeah,
fucking huge.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like, that's the sort of mentality. It's just like,
Yeah, man.
she won't even go for a walk or a run at specific time in the sleepiest points of Australia
Mm.
because there's that instilled fear
Yeah, that's right.
that doesn't matter where you
Yeah,
are, something could just pop
something
around the
could happen.
corner.
And this isn't even about domestic violence anymore, man.
No, now it's just
This is just women in general, and it's
yeah,
so sad. Like
it's fucked.
oh, it's ridiculous. Like even I recall going to the shops with my partner. We went to Macquarie Shopping Centre. For anyone that's from Sydney, they know it.
Mhm.
Always busy, man. Always
Always, yeah,
fucking flat out, right? And
yeah.
this was school. I think it was school holidays during that
Mm,
Bondi attack, or maybe it was a weekend. I can't recall.
mm.
Shocking memory. But I only recognised towards the end of the shopping trip. I was pushing our youngest in the pram. My eldest wasn't with us, but my partner was like half a step behind me, and she did not let go of my arm the whole time. And I only realised at the end, I go, she's fucking petrified, and that bothers me. The
100%.
fact that my partner
Mm.
is concerned about going to a shopping centre really fucking bothers me, man. You know,
Mate,
like, and it's funny because sorry to cut you off, but
no,
it's
go for it.
funny. Um, oh, I think it would have been another trip not too long after I was at a different
Mm.
shopping center. I can't remember which one. I actually heard these two young girls, man. They walked straight past me, like quite slowly, and I obviously you hear them talking. And one of them said to the other, "Ever since Bondi, I hate coming to Westfield." And I'm thinking, "Fuck, like you're 15
Wow,
years old, man. Like that's
that's
scary."
terrifying.
Yeah,
That's fucking
you know,
scary.
And I think that coming back to my jumper, it's sort of it, it's just something for people to realize that, look, we can't say what we do when we walk into situations like that or when things like that happen around us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know for a fact there are a lot of people in Sydney, Australia, that are involved in crime in the wrong side of the world
Mm,
that would fucking run in straight away if they saw a woman or
mm.
child get hurt, right?
100.
And someone said to me, they go, "Oh, why don't you do police checks on these protector hoodies?" And I thought to myself, you know what? I know more criminals that would stand up for fucking strangers than your straight and narrows.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I will never judge someone. Like you do you, right?
Yeah.
But if you are willing to be a man and stand up for people around you, I don't give a fuck what you get up to.
Yeah.
As long as you are like, as long as you are a good human being at heart,
Yeah.
irrespective of the other side of life, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's why I think this movement, right, if it were to take off, it's actually done pretty well. Like I'm mind blown that I've actually got people buying clothing
Mm,
and wear it out.
mm.
But if it was to take off in a big way, I think it would make a lot of people sort of second guess either A, doing something fucking stupid in public,
Yeah.
or B, it would make a lot of people feel a lot safer. You know, like you wouldn't have to walk around with your shoulders up, freaking out, looking around. You'd be like, oh, well,
Yeah.
he's got that on. He's a fucking big bloke. And
Yeah.
that guy there got it on. And then there's a
Yeah.
mum down there who's got that shirt on. And I know that, like, as a, like, let's say you're a 16-year-old girl and you see a mum
Yeah.
wearing a protector shirt, you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, if something's wrong, if
I'm
someone's
going there.
hassling me as a 16-year-old girl, I can go straight to her,
100%. A
you
hundred
know?
percent. And it's about being able to control that situation as well.
That's right,
You
man.
know, and I always, and I don't know why, but I've always been a pretty good read of character and a
Yeah.
read of situation to the point
Yeah.
where I hate public transport
Yeah. Yeah.
because for me, I couldn't tell you the last time I caught a bus, to be fair, like
Mm,
probably at school when I had to
mm,
catch a bus. But for
yep.
me, it's just like, why would I put myself in a situation where I'm closed in on a bus with strangers and
Yeah.
I literally the only way for me to get off the bus if I have to is by breaking the window,
Yes.
right? Same with
Hmm.
trains. No fucking chance. You got,
Yep.
mate. So whenever we would go out, and
Yeah.
I've never been a massive drinker, and I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you the last time I touched booze, but I
Yep.
was always the one who will drive
Yeah.
because
Right on.
I am happy to, I don't need alcohol to have a good time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I would much prefer have the keys in my hand so that if shit goes down or if something goes sour or if I don't get a good vibe, I've got the control to go, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm gonna get the fuck out. If anybody came
Yeah.
with me who wants to leave, you can leave with me, but I'm
Yeah.
not staying around. I don't,
Yeah.
this isn't for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I've always been like that, man. I would much rather pay $80 for parking in the city
Mm,
than catch public transport where it's
yeah.
completely out of my control,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know? And that's, I don't know,
Agreed.
that's just something for me that I don't know if it's a control thing or I don't know if it's a safety thing,
Yep.
or if it's a, yeah, because I can spot things. I've got a pretty good intuition
Yeah.
and I would much rather be in control in that situation, you know,
100%, man.
you
It's
know,
funny you say you've got good intuition and you don't drink very much because I think those two,
mm,
they don't go hand in hand.
100.
If you're a big boozer, and like I speak from experience here, when I was drinking heaps, bro, my intuition was shot to shit.
Mm, mm,
I couldn't realize a scumbag from a good bloke. You know,
yeah,
you're literally just winging it, hoping for the best. But when you split them up, when you
yeah,
take the booze away, your intuition slowly comes back. And I think it's it's a very interesting thing how that all works. But yeah, for sure, man. What you're saying in terms of being in control of where you are and your surroundings, like it's huge. It's a
dude.
very necessary thing to be aware of.
Yeah, I don't know. It's you know, I'd like my kids to, you know, when they grow up, you know, have fun and, you know, go out and have fun with their friends and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's becoming more now of an education piece for not just us, but for them as well as they get older. I've got three kids. I've got two girls and a boy. Um, you know, and I would not want either of the girls or my son to feel like when they go out that they have to constantly look over their shoulder and
Mm-hmm.
constantly be in fear of I'll put it to you this way. I took my daughter and one of her friends to the pictures yesterday, to the movies. Sorry, old school language. Um, and we've got a cinema up here, whereas it's like it's old school, right? It's an
Oh,
old
they
school
still run the tape
cinema.
like this, bro?
Oh, bro, they might. I'm pretty sure I could hear like
Yeah, yeah,
happening, and
yeah.
even to the point where I obviously didn't go into the bathroom with the girls when they went to the toilet, but I
Yeah.
took them to the disabled toilet and I went in there first. And I was like, just
Mm-hmm.
making sure everything's all good. I let them go in one by one. Just little
Yeah.
things like that that I'm
Yeah,
becoming more
man.
aware of and more conscious of because
Yep.
you just, it's not,
You
it's to
never
live,
know.
you never know. And I don't want to live in that fear, but I'd,
Yeah.
again, much rather have that element of control and go, that's cool. Like, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't look good.
Mm.
That looks sus. I'm going to be
Yeah.
wary. I'm going to be on my heels a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I
And
think a
then
big
again,
thing.
yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
go on,
go
Chris,
on.
go
No,
for
no,
it,
no,
mate.
you're right.
But then again, in saying that, there are top blokes out here. Like there are absolute fucking legends in this
Mm.
community as well, male and female. Like the guy who helped me a couple of weeks ago with when I had all three kids. It was pissing down rain. He sacrificed his umbrella to help me.
What a fucking
And
champ.
yeah, and he was easily in his like 75, maybe 80. And
Yeah.
mate, sacrificed his, and I say sacrifice like, he fucking took the shirt off his back. But again, he opted to get wet, be completely saturated because it was fucking pissing down rain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For me, I didn't have my wife at the moment because she was she was on a business trip in the sunny coast.
Mm.
I had all three kids by myself at the shops, which was lots of fun. But
Not.
nah, pause, not. But this guy could actually see, like, it obviously was a difficult scenario for me to get three kids in a trolley to the car while it's pissing down rain. And then he was just like, he's take the
Yeah,
umbrella.
man.
It's all good. I was like,
Yeah,
fuck, what a sick
yeah.
bloke. Like, honestly, like that's the kind of stuff where you go, they're still good out there.
100%. But you know what the shame is? That he was 65, 70 years old. And the shame is that generation's different, bro. Like
100%,
that
bro. Spot
they're
on.
different, man. You go, look, I'd know 30-year-olds that'd probably do it, but you think of a 20-year-old man, no fucking chance,
No
and
shot.
it's sad.
No shot.
Um, but coming back to the kids, I think a big thing that I tried to instill in a message, because I actually did a video that went quite viral. Russell Mantis shared it.
Mm,
Rest in peace, Russ. He shared it, and it was a big thing about you got to have kids in martial arts, bro. Self defense.
mm,
In this day and age, man, I feel if you're in a big city like Sydney, it is a fucking must.
yeah.
Absolute must, man. Even if you're not very good at whatever martial art you've gone and trained at, even
Yeah.
if you're not very good at self defense,
Yeah.
the fact of the matter is, if you have an aggressor coming at you and you even get into a fucking fighting stance, bro, and you puff your chest out, you're like, come on, like,
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Someone will second guess that straight away.
100%.
If they're just a piece of shit off the street coming to get your wallet, or they want to try push you around or whatever, and you have that confidence to say, righto, it
Let's
is what it
dance.
is,
Yeah.
it changes absolutely everything. And I've even noticed my eldest son, he'll be 8 in September. He's been doing Hapkido
Mm,
slash, it's more so a self defense at this point in time. He's not doing like the full basic or the full fundamentals of Hapkido because he's too young.
yeah.
But the confidence change that I've seen in him, bro, is huge. And he was already a very confident young boy.
Yes.
And even now, man, it's huge. Like he always, as boys do, he always makes a joke, oh, dad, if anyone ever grabs me, I'll just do this, this, and this. And I actually
Yeah.
think about it. I'm like, you know
He
what?
fucking
Like,
would.
you would,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're 7 and you're 8 or nearly 8. And
Mm,
yeah, sure, like you're only small. But
mm,
what he says that he's learned would actually fucking work.
yeah.
And for me, like that's quite reassuring that let's say, God forbid, someone was to grab him in the dunny one day and he
Mm,
turned around and fucking
yeah.
cracked this bloke in the nuts and then smacked his nose, runs
Yeah.
outside to me saying, Dad, Dad, Dad. I'm like,
Yeah.
sick. You
Yeah.
know what I
I'll
mean?
go
It's
finish the
like,
job.
yeah, that's right. It's that one, like, it's just that little sense of, you know
Mm,
what? They will be okay because you can't always be there as a parent.
no.
Never.
No.
Especially when they're going through that adolescent years and they're going to rebel and they're going to do
Mm,
whatever the fuck they want.
mm,
It's nice knowing that they can hold their own.
mm.
So that's a big message that I do put out to a lot of parents that are clients of mine. Like we don't often talk about their kids, but if they do bring their kids up, as you'd know as a coach yourself, man,
Mm.
we turn into like a counselor almost for some.
Oh yeah,
Bro, they will talk to us about anything and fucking everything. And
absolutely.
any PT that listens to this or anyone that PTs in the gym, it's the same thing.
Mm,
You become a support person. So
mm,
anytime that I have heard of kids having a hard time,
mm.
straight away, man, self-defense. It is a fucking must in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Absolute must.
I did. I had a very short stint in karate when I was younger.
Yep.
I've always wanted to revisit it. Always wanted to go
Hmm.
back. It's something about the discipline
Yeah.
that's taught, and the confidence, like you said before, that comes from being able to hold yourself and really being able
Correct.
to show up for yourself, and
Yeah.
learning all these different practices and all these different methodologies has always been there. And I drive past, fuck up, I'm going to inquire. I drive past a karate place on our main road,
Yep.
and I always see it, I'm just like, I should hit him up. I should hit him up. And there's always lingers and always
Bro, just do it.
spikes. I know, I will. Yeah,
Just do it.
absolutely,
This is
absolutely.
something that I've realized with clients of mine, right? Um, age always seems to hold people back from things.
Yeah.
And it's not just age, it's also being time poor. Time poor, I definitely fucking understand because when it comes to classes,
Mm,
whether it be self-defense, karate, Muay Thai, whatever it is you choose to do, there are set classes.
yeah.
And as a family man, you would know that
Mm,
these set classes, good chances they fall at horrible fucking
yeah,
times.
100%.
What dad can leave at 6 p.m., bro, when you got two or three kids, your wife's at home?
Yeah.
Brother,
No,
that
there's
ain't
no
happening,
chance.
right?
No chance.
But when it comes to exercise fitness in general, people
Yeah.
say, oh, I'm too old. No, you're not. Like,
Who
you might be
said?
too old to go and do a 100-meter sprint straight away and expect to be
Yeah.
Usain Bolt. Like, no,
Yeah.
you're too old for that. You're not going to run a 9 meter, 100
Yeah.
meter, a 9 second 100 meter, right?
Yeah.
But you're not too old to go for a walk. Unless you are physically disabled, you are not too old to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you are always capable and there's always ways around whatever issues you may have. Like,
Hmm.
there was a bloke, actually, it's funny that I say this. There was a bloke in the sauna the other day,
Mm.
and he asked the lady that was sitting in the sauna, next to the door, you've got the emergency button. And he said, oh, excuse me, can I please sit there? Like, I have to sit here. I've had a medical episode.
Mm.
This old boy, 75 years old, he's had a stroke, lost all feeling in his left side.
Oh
Fucking
shit.
no bueno. Like, hardly
Mm.
can move the left arm,
Mm.
can, like, literally shuffles with his left leg. He's
Mm.
lost his short term memory, and he was talking to us in the sauna. And I just thought to myself, I go, this fucker
Mm.
is sitting here in a sauna, short term memory loss, can't remember when he got in, right?
Mm. Mm.
But he's still getting to the gym
Yeah.
4 days a week to
Yeah.
sit in a sauna.
Yeah.
Sure, he's got rules and regulations about where he sits, but he's still fucking doing it.
Absolutely.
But then you have people my age or younger that are stuck on a fucking PlayStation
Mm.
saying, oh, it's too hard. Man, you choose your hard. You're either going to live a shitty life for the rest of your life or you're going to put the hard yards in and
Yeah.
reap the reward.
Something that I know that that's spot on, right? And something that I know
Yeah.
that you'll resonate with is you don't know responsibility and you don't know what hard is until you have kids.
Bro,
If you think
100%.
if you think that you've got it hard doing your 9 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
going to the fucking gym and not having any other accountability or responsibility but yourself and maybe your girlfriend,
Mm.
dude, you've got a fucking shock coming. You have got a very rude
100%.
awakening creeping up
Yeah.
your backside because, dude,
It
you
all
do not
changes.
know 100%. And it gives you a different lease of life and
Mm.
a real sort of dose of clarity to go, okay, there are people that depend on me now. There are
Yeah.
people
Yeah, man.
that aren't able to do things for themselves yet, and that need my guidance and my sustainability and my strength to get
Yeah.
through the day. And when you
Mm.
have that, and you've got one, two, three, four, five, however many kids that people rack up these days, that's
Yeah.
when you go, holy fuck, that's what, again, my opinion, that's what being like a true man is when you've got
For
that
sure.
responsibility of looking after people.
Yeah. 100%. Providing and protecting.
100%, man.
But then
It's mm,
it's funny on the flip side of that coin,
Mm,
there are so many people that I hear from,
mm,
dads,
mm.
I don't have time to exercise. I eat like shit because I don't have time. And it's like, well, mate, do you want to live a shitty lifestyle that your kids are going to replicate one day?
Yep.
Or do you want to sacrifice something out of your schedule,
Yeah.
whether it's normally it's sleep,
Mm,
unfortunately,
mm,
being dads, like
mm,
in construction, man, when I was full time,
mm.
I was at the gym between 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning. Like that's the times I'd get there, depending on my start time for work.
Yep.
I'd train for an hour, I'd have a shower, I'd get ready, and I'd go to work, and I'd go home after work and be there for my family. And it's the only choice you have, right? But at the same time, I'd prefer to be fit, strong, and active for my kids than be a dad that waddles around fucking unfit, out of breath, can't keep up with them in the backyard.
Yep.
Like we set the standard for our children.
Oh, dude, 100%. And I filmed a fucking video when I finished the gym this morning, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because I was coming off of a fucking high, right?
Woo!
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I just been to the gym for the first time in 10 years. Fucking yeah, let's go. And
Yeah.
bro, I was so amped up. And I got in
Yeah,
the
man.
car and I was half pissed off and half excited
Yeah.
because I thought to myself, I've just spent an hour at the gym,
Hmm.
right? I got up, it's sparrow fart, it's fucking ice cold, right?
Yeah, man. Freezing.
And I met one of my clients who's now a really good mate of mine because we've
Cool.
we've evolved the relationship, we've evolved the friendship and the
Yeah.
and the client mentor coach relationship into this awesome respect for each other.
Yeah.
And
Great.
so we were just like, let's sign up to the gym together and let's get fit together. Cool, awesome. So
Mate.
we did it, cheap gym, $15 a week,
Yeah.
24/7, fucking no contracts, beautiful, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got in the car and I was just like, if you think that you've got it tough, and if you are finding yourself in a comfort zone barrier where you're just happy doing what you're doing, running your race because it's comfortable,
Mm.
you need to wake the fuck up because
100%.
I've just gone to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. I've got 3 kids waiting for me at home. I chase my own money. I don't get paid by a corporation. I chase my own money.
Yeah, man.
I've got a wife. I've got financial stresses. I've got other stresses. I've got all these other things in life. But I'm not
Yeah.
sitting there being a fucking victim saying that it's too cold to get out of bed and go to the gym. You
Fuck yeah.
you need to wake the fuck up.
Fuck yeah.
And bro, I was amped. It went for like a minute and a half. I was like, yeah, like I did nothing with it. But it was the fact that I was just like, I got it out. I might put it up later, but like
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm tired of people sitting in this fucking victim mentality and
Yeah,
this
man.
this woe is me mindset of, oh, you know, everything's just so hard. It's
Mm.
not. You're
Mm.
choosing for it to be hard. It could be
Yeah,
so
that's
much
right.
easier if you
Yeah.
just did the right thing,
100%, man.
and it fucking gave me the shits, but it was also so good at the same time.
Yeah, it's good, man. And you know what I find as well? Some of my best stuff that I've ever fucking filmed, just rants that I do,
Mm.
it comes to me either on the way to the gym or after the gym because you have like this clarity. You have
Mm.
this clarity of like, you come up with the idea while you're training and you sit on it while you're training and
Yeah.
it just
Mm.
ticks and ticks and
Yeah.
ticks. And by the end of it, bro, you've got gold.
Which is what it
All
was,
by,
Chris.
yeah,
That's
man.
what it was. And like we were just in there. It was just the two of us. There was nobody else in there. It was
Yeah,
dead.
man.
And in my head, I was just like, this should be packed
Yeah.
at this time of the morning. Like there's no
Yep.
excuses for people to not be up at this time working on
Hmm.
themselves. It
That's right.
should be, especially at that price, $15 a week, 24/7.
Yeah.
You can go whenever the fuck you want. There's no lock-ins.
Yeah.
Why? Why are there not? Why is it only me and my mate here?
People don't seize their day anymore, man.
Fuck.
Their day seizes them. You know,
Mm.
they're owned by their 9 to 5. They're owned by so many restrictions. Like they're owned by the booze. They're owned by
Yep.
whatever the fuck it is
Yep.
that you forget what actually matters in life, man.
Hundred
You
percent,
know,
dude. That's spot on. You forget
it's
what matters, and there's another element in there as well, Chris, that I spoke to somebody about a couple of days ago, and it's when you understand what your distractions are and what is actually holding you back. And
Yeah.
once you eradicate them and maybe not fully remove them from your life, but once you pull back on them and reduce them from
Mm.
to a very small percentage, that's when you'll actually start living. Because
100%.
something that I've found, especially working with the people that I work with, is there's always an excuse and there's always a distraction and there's always
Yep.
something else that will hinder them from going to that next level and to elevate into that next level. And I had it with a client a couple months back where there was such a blocker
Mm.
on their growth and on their development. But when we actually picked it apart, it was something so minute and something so small that once they peeled that band-aid off, it
Boom.
just like fucking erupted like a volcano in Hawaii. It was just like this thing he just spiraled, me. He just went out of control in a good way. Like he just
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
like next level, next level, next level, next level. He just kept
Yep.
evolving.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it all came from distractions. And it all
Yeah,
came
man.
from things that were holding him back that he knew as well.
Mm.
He was just choosing to let them hold him back.
Holding back, yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot in that. There's a lot in, because we're consciously aware of what our distractions are. We're consciously aware that there are things that we choose to do daily, weekly, monthly, whatever,
Yeah,
that if we weren't to do them, we could actually be focusing on better things.
for sure. Something more beneficial for your growth or life, either
Mm.
or.
Yeah, absolutely. And rather than do that thing that's a distraction, play a fucking
Mm.
Candy Crush on your phone or wherever it is for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
If there's stuff that you're chasing that you could be doing in that 45 minutes, why aren't you doing that?
Why aren't you doing it? It's funny, right? A lot of coaches these days and a lot of PTs and whatever they call themselves or whoever they are,
Mm.
they always talk about balance. And this is
Mm.
something that I like to pick apart because I think to myself, if you want to balance, like or define balance when it comes to partying and a
Mm.
healthy lifestyle, right? So, and that's a big one. Like I have a lot of mates and I see a lot of people, they train super hard for a month. And then before you know it, they're on a fucking weekend long bender, smashing whatever they're smashing, drinking heaps. And you sort of sometimes I ask, oh, what's going on?
Mm.
Oh, I need a bit of balance in life. What the fuck is balance, bro? Like you're just literally enabling yourself to knock yourself down all the steps that you just came up.
Regression.
And what, yeah, it's literally it's you progress and regress. And
Mm-hmm.
and the problem with that is you stay stuck within this ceiling. You have
Yeah.
your baseline and you have your ceiling.
Mm.
And you go up to your ceiling and you're like, oh, time to ease off a little bit, let off the gas, and boom, back to baseline.
Yeah.
And you never go past that ceiling because you're just stuck in your own shitty balance cycle. Like I
Mm.
find balance being such a self-enabling tactic for a lot of people that don't want to admit they have addiction or substance issues.
Mm-hmm.
They say, oh, it's just a bit of balance. But fuck balance, man. Like if you want to kick goals, if you want to be a successful business owner, if you want to be a successful coach, if you want to be a successful anything in this day and age, there is no balance. You have to go tunnel vision. And like let's talk extremes. You look at bodybuilders, right?
Mm.
Bodybuilders have no fucking balance in their life.
Yeah.
The only thing that they use, like the only thing that they balance is probably their training, their sleep, and their food.
Yep. That's it.
That's it.
Mm.
And look where it takes them. Sure, not everyone gets to the professional level. Not everyone will be Mr. Olympia. Not
Mm.
everyone will be the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
But they give it their absolute fucking all.
Absolutely. They
And
commit.
look what they get out of it, man. They
Mm.
look fucking brilliant. I know some people don't like the bodybuilding look. Some people don't like the chicks that look huge as well. Whatever.
Yeah.
But they literally fuck balance off out of the equation and
Mm.
commit. And if
Yeah.
anyone can do that for their body and when you're running on empty,
Mm.
imagine if you could run on full and like get rid of balance and pay attention to your business.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your aspirations, your kids, your family, whatever it is,
Mm.
bro, your growth is immense.
Yeah, you're right. And I think there's a correlation with balance and comfort zone. I think those
100%.
two go hand in hand. And I
That's right.
actually think they're almost the same thing.
Yeah.
I like, because as you were just talking there, I was having to download and it was just like, yeah, it feels like that comfort, which is where you hit that ceiling from your
Mm,
baseline,
yeah,
that's comfort. And
that's right.
it's breaking through there and going, now we're in the growth zone.
Yeah,
Now we're in the danger zone. This is where we can do some serious damage from a good light, not from a bad
for
light.
sure.
This is where we can actually exceed expectations and exceed our limitations of who we set out to be, because
100%.
that balance, you're right, just it almost keeps you on your baseline, because it's just like, oh, you can do this and you can do this and you can do this and you can do this.
Mm,
It's just like, yeah, but should you? Like,
yeah,
should you just be complacent and just
yeah,
like stay with the, you know, 50%? Because that's what balance is, right? Balance is 50-50.
100%, man.
So why not go 100?
Yeah, that's right.
That
Go the
doesn't
whole
make any
way. If you're
sense.
going to do something, do it properly.
Yeah. 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 That's wild. I love that. I think it's got so much volume to it, man.
100%.
So much fucking volume to it. And you look at, whether you like him or not, and I don't know if you know him, Andy Elliott. Andy Elliott has been, he has been on my forefront for probably a couple months now.
Yep.
And mate, I listen to his stuff and I watch some of his stuff, and he's like one of the best car salesmen in the world. Do you know who he
Hmm.
is?
I think I do have an idea of who you're
Yeah,
talking about.
bro, he's so brutal and he's so cutthroat, and
Yeah.
like he will get people up on the stage and get them to take their shirt off and go,
Yes, yes, yes.
is this what your
Yeah.
wife signed up for?
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
like, no, he's like,
yeah.
go the fuck to the gym and like
Yeah.
go and work on yourself, go and do
I
this.
have
And
seen this. Like, yeah.
he's immense, mate. And he has gone from this prolific car salesman, because he's like the world's number one closer. Like he can close any sale just based
Hmm.
on his confidence, based
Hmm.
on the way he can talk to people, based
Yeah.
on his knowledge and all these different things. And he just has such an aura to him, and he goes hell for leather every single fucking day. He does not
That's right, man.
stop. He is
Yeah.
just like fucking pump, pump, pump.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that he does. He focuses on his health, he focuses on his physique, he focuses on his business, focuses on
Yeah.
his family, reset. And then he does those four things
That's right.
meticulously each day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's like a multi-bazillionaire. He just fucking just does it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that like there's people that have such a determined mindset
Yep.
like that. And then
Yep.
there's people that are just like content with
Mm.
normality and just sitting at 50%.
Yeah. I think my Andy Elliott in my story was David Goggins.
The fucking
So
the GOG
the
for
book,
sure.
yeah, yeah. So the book Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
That changed my life, man. Like I started to use a lot of the things that he did, like a lot of the self-talk stuff that he talks about, like in terms of you have to come to terms with the fact that if you're fat, you're fat.
That's it.
You call a spade, bro.
Mm,
Like,
mm,
and I've always been quite blunt to everyone around me. I'm renowned for it. Even my wife fucking hates that trait, I think.
mm.
She puts up with it though.
Yeah.
But I wasn't blunt with myself. And
Mm.
until I started doing it to myself, it's like, you fat fucking idiot. Like, what
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
That's when things start to change. The cogs start to turn, and you're like, oh, hang on a second.
Yeah.
I got to change this. I don't want to keep calling myself fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Look, yes, you have that gray area where it can turn into body dysmorphia and fucking body image issues. But at the same
Sure.
time, man, body image issues would stem if you aren't happy with your body.
Mm-hmm.
So why not do something about it?
That's it. Absolutely. You've got the opportunity.
Simple as
You're in
that. You know what I
control.
mean?
Yeah.
If you are healthy and able, and when I say healthy and able, if you are, I'm not talking internal health, I'm talking like if you are able to do the exercise or able to do whatever it is you need to do. Because
Mm.
if you're overweight, your internal probably aren't that healthy. But
Yeah.
if you can do it, why the fuck aren't you doing it?
Yeah. I agree, mate. I
You
agree.
know,
Yeah.
it's
It's
it's something that it really, really baffles me, man. And like people come at me and they say, "Oh, stop fat shaming and stop doing this," and I'm like, look. I go, if you feel offended by the fact that I say that people are overweight in this day and age, that's on you because it's a
eh,
fact.
It's fact, 100%. I think there's a lot of um I like the self-talk stuff that you just brought up with Goggins. And I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
correlation between and you brought it up earlier as well about how you used to journal and all the things that you write out affirmations and things like
Yep.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot that link those two together. And
100%.
the results that actually can come from if you look at it from a spirituality lens,
Mm.
in regards to the self-talk and in regards to writing things down and manifesting, if you do believe in that sort of stuff, like
Yeah.
there is
Huge.
so much intertwined in that. And I think also that's why Goggins is so successful in that, because again, we spoke about energy. You're bringing that in,
Mm.
right? And if you are 100% subscribed to the fact that I'm going to be the fucking best, I am
Yeah.
going to lose this weight and I'm going to get down to a certain percent body fat and all this sort of stuff. If you subscribe to it and you fucking actually believe it and you are writing that shit out and you're journaling on that stuff and journaling about how good your day was and what you did, what you ate, how healthy you were, blah blah blah, all this sort of shit, it's only going to come full circle.
Yeah,
It's only going to fucking benefit you. But you're right
exactly right.
also. You're also right in the fact that there is an epidemic of obesity. There is, without a shadow of a doubt, massive issues in what we are putting into our bodies or what we're told is healthy to put into our
Oh,
bodies. We've gone
don't
down
get
a
me started.
massive, oh, bro, we've gone down a massive rabbit hole under this household, even down to the water that we're drinking. And, you know,
Good,
we just got quoted a full filtration system for our house, you
mate.
know, inclusive of the
Do it.
showers and all that sort of stuff. And
Do it.
mate, I am so much more aware and conscious
Yeah.
of, you know, I never used to be a label checker.
Hmm.
I religiously now am checking, especially for a couple of key things. Like bro, I was a massive energy drinker, energy like
Yeah.
V
Energy
and
drink.
Mother and all that
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Mate, one a day, two a day. Like and
Yeah.
I'm talking like this is my seventh week, sixth or seventh week without any, right?
Yeah. Cool. Yep.
Completely just shut it off.
Yep.
And that's from doing that research on the things that they're putting in it. Like
Yeah,
I
man.
always knew that it was bad, but there was one video that fucked me up, and it was that vitamin B12.
Yeah.
And I don't know how aware you are of that. But it's not the way I explained it was we know that there's vitamin B12, which is a great vitamin to have in your body,
Uh-huh.
in especially in meat that we eat, right? You won't see that as an ingredient if you're eating the right thing. You shouldn't be seeing vitamin B12 as an ingredient in your meat because we just know what's in there. However,
Yeah.
if you're seeing it as an additive, there's a problem.
Yep.
And when I did the research on it, it's actually human feces.
Wow.
Okay. And I
Yeah.
can put the links in. It's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like fermented shit. Literal comes from waste plants. And that's in all of these drinks. So
Bro, finished.
that for me, when I saw, so if I
Oh.
see vitamin B12 now as an ingredient,
Yeah.
again, you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying, right? Like you shouldn't have to know
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
that like a vitamin is good for you. It shouldn't be an ingredient. Like, why is it an ingredient? It should
Yeah.
just
For
be a
sure.
part of the food.
Mm.
So that for me, I was just like, what the fuck? So ever
Yeah.
since that, I was just like, I knew that they were bad with the sugar intake and all that sort of stuff. 100%. Even when you're drinking sugar free, there's
For
other
sure.
things in
For
there.
sure.
Absolutely. But for me, I was just like, no, and that's put me on
That's
a massive
that's
sort of
it.
perception thing now, even with the oils, with the fucking rice oils and bran oils and all that. So I'm just like,
Yeah, man.
nah,
Seed oils, fucking poison.
see you later.
Yeah.
No seed oils for me, mate. So
I'll give you a great example, right? I had a
mm,
client come to me. She'd already done a great job in terms of weight loss.
yeah,
Um, and she already sort of had a set style of way she was eating. She intermittently fasts.
yeah,
She'd been given a diet from a dietitian that she'd been referred to. We made some slight changes. She came to me. She was pre-diabetic, insulin resistant, cholesterol fucked. Yeah. We changed the diet, little tweaks here and there, eggs, heaps of red meat, shit like that, like
Yeah.
stuff that apparently will jack your cholesterol up and
Oh, here
blah,
we
blah,
go.
blah. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's been 10 weeks. She's lost 10 kilos,
Fuck.
but I don't even care about the weight, bro. This is the best part. She's no longer insulin resistant. She's no longer pre-diabetic, and her cholesterol all in check.
Like, say
The
less.
proof's in the proof's in the pudding, man. Like, and
Unbelievable.
they want you to eat this and that and that and this and all these additives and all this processed shit. When realistically, we just changed, or I just aided someone to change their whole fucking life from eating whole fucking food that you
Un
are told is bad,
it's unbelievable.
and she ate it every fucking day.
Isn't that nuts?
Man,
Isn't that fucking crazy?
like,
Like,
it really bothers me. The worst part about it, Dean, is that people gobble it up. People believe what they're fucking told
yep.
on the fucking news or on whoever's in charge of nutritional advice, they believe it.
Hmm.
But man, you think about eggs, right? How long have humans been eating fucking eggs for?
God,
You know?
you know,
But then
yeah.
how long have humans been eating fake meat for? And it's like, oh well, the vegans want fake meat. And it's like, well,
Yeah, well,
you keep that fake
yeah,
meat,
yeah,
son.
you cook that shit over there on that pan. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right. Like
mm,
you look at even this is a massive thing, and I'm not sure if you saw it. It was a video that went viral. It was an old boy from rural New South Wales or Queensland, I think, and it was when there was a big floods on or something.
mm,
Big bloke, bald head, massive beard, like typical old boy
yeah,
from the bush, yeah.
mm,
And he was making a joke. He was walking down Woolies with his camera out. And he goes, "Everything's fucking empty. All the
yeah,
meat's gone. All the veg is gone." He goes,
yeah,
"But look at this
yeah,
shit. All the fake meat, bro, was still there." He goes, "No one's even feeding it to their fucking dogs."
yeah,
Great thing is, right? A lot of more rural areas, they
yeah.
won't fucking touch it.
Nah,
But you think about the people in the city, bro.
mm,
You've got your full blown vegan heads, and look, hats off to you if you want to be vegan. You do you, right?
yeah,
But that shit's poison.
mm,
Whatever the fuck is in that fake meat, man,
yeah,
ingredient list this long.
yeah. No, fucking why?
But then you got meat, bro. Meat is meat.
Meat.
You
That's
know,
it.
like,
And that was my whole point before about the
yeah,
vitamin
yeah,
B12. Like,
that's right.
if it's got an ingredient that is a vitamin,
Yeah,
why?
problem.
Issue, right?
Yeah, man.
Straight off the bat. Like, how
100%.
do you look at a fucking orange and go, "Oh, I wonder what ingredients in this orange"? No,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just know it's fucking got fucking vitamin C, like,
yeah.
and all
You
this
know
other
it's an
great shit.
orange.
You know it's an
Yeah,
orange. It's fucking good shit.
yeah.
It's just
The
wild, dude.
yeah, the world's gone mad when it comes to nutrition, man. But the proof's in the pudding. Like,
Mm,
I urge anyone that has health issues before they, obviously, depending on the severity of it, before you go to extremes with the medical system,
yeah.
go and find yourself a great dietitian
Mm,
and change the way you eat,
yes.
because your gut is your second brain, and there's tons of proof about that now.
Yeah.
Like, you
Oh,
are what you are what you eat, and it's been proven.
yeah, dude, spot on. Even to the point where, and maybe I'm just a little naive, but like
Mm.
I didn't realize that antibiotics kill all your gut health.
Absolutely obliterate it.
I had no idea
Yeah,
only up until recently, right? When
yeah,
the kids like same at your house, just fucking sick, right? And I was just, what the
yeah.
fuck is going on? Like, how is this just constant?
Mm.
And you know, since I've come to that finding that it just kills off your good gut health, which is what helps you with your health and which was what helps you with your restoration and your
Yeah,
recovery. It's like antibiotics. And then it's just like the body doesn't get a chance to recover and
that's
doesn't
right.
get an opportunity to get back on its feet because like as it's standing up, you're just like, bam, here's another dose of fucking amoxicillin. And it's just like,
Yeah,
bam, here's another dose of amoxicillin. It's just like,
that's right.
just let him stand up. Just let him
A
recover.
hun-
So I
a
mean,
hundred percent.
I have not given the kids anything for their sickness in the
Yeah,
past 3 4 weeks. I'm just letting them fucking
yeah,
ride it. Just
yeah,
let the body just catch itself before
yeah,
I have to fucking hit it with more shit.
yeah.
It's
It's funny you say that.
unbelievable.
It's funny you say that. So my old man, like I touched on before, he's a GP doctor, PhD in immunopathology, the whole lot. Right?
Mm,
He's been there. He's done it. He's worked in morgues. He's run emergency departments. He's quite a well known name.
yeah.
Um, Anyway, my whole life, man,
Mm,
I was never given antibiotics
Yeah, wow.
until I was 19.
No shit.
My body fought its own viruses itself, like you fucking meant to. And
Wow.
that is with a dad who is a doctor.
Fuck. Well, that's
Not
just
once
telling.
did he that's right. And not once did he ever say to me, like, you're so sick, we've got to get you something. And man, I remember being crook when I was a kid, right? Like
Mm,
every kid gets sick.
mm,
And I remember being really sick a couple of times. And even then he goes, no, no need for Panadol, no need for Nurofen. Like
yeah.
the biggest thing is, and I even know nurses to this day. One of my good friends, she's in Queensland. She's a holistic nurse.
Mm,
Like she's actually a nurse through nurse school. She's done it all, but she's left the system. She's like, it's fucked. I can't stand it.
mm,
She even says, she goes, if your kid has a temperature, she goes, don't fucking give them Nurofen and Panadol straight away. Like
mm,
we have temperatures for a reason, and it's to
mm.
fight infection. It's to fight viral infection, bacterial infection, whatever it is you have, right?
Yeah.
Don't smash them with it straight away because what are they? Their body's now no longer fighting it because you've just taken the heat away.
Mm,
Heat's gone.
yep.
And it's a comfort thing, right? So if your kids need to sleep, yeah, sure, do it then, but don't do it every 3 or 4 or whatever, however many hours it is throughout the whole
Mm,
course of the day and night, because
yeah.
then you just prolong said illness. And it's the same with
100%.
it's the same with amoxicillin, man. Like I think one of the biggest things that Dad taught me is that doctors will give antibiotics for viral infections because people don't know any better. They don't fucking do anything for viral infections, man. That's fact. You can Google it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Google it right now if you're listening.
Yeah.
Do antibiotics work for viral infections? The
Yeah.
answer is no.
No.
Bacterial only.
Mm,
Right? But everyone's so happy to go to a doctor down the road and say, oh, I'm sick. You go, hey, okay, here you go, have
yep.
amoxicillin.
Yep. Yep.
Bro, you're just obliterating your gut health.
Yeah. It's nuts.
It's
Honest.
insane, man. Like
Yeah.
the systems that we have in place as a civilization slash society in this day and age, or in the Western world at least,
Mm,
they're setting us up for failure.
that's
And
what it feels like.
it's as woo woo as it can get. Like,
Yeah.
man, you can say it's conspiracy, whatever it is. Like but fact is fact. Like they're
Dude.
pushing you away from good food. They're pushing you towards more medicine because if you
Chin
are
chin.
medicated, that's yeah. If you're medicated, man, you become part of their system.
That's it.
If
You.
you
Mhm.
if you put stitches in a wound, so to speak, right, and the wound heals itself, you aren't coming back. But if they put a band-aid consistently over a wound that's going to seep blood and get infected and seep blood and get infected, bro,
Yeah.
you're a life customer.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
spot on,
so
man. It's just to keep the wallets fat
yeah,
of those whose wallets they
it's
are.
crazy.
Yes, it's wild. Though I could go down this. Yeah, I'm very very passionate about this sort of stuff. And it's funny because in the
Yeah,
men's group that I run on a Monday, we started talking about this sort of stuff a couple of weeks back. Um, and some of the blokes there weren't overly um open to this sort of stuff. It was like new news to them, and just the sort of mic drop moments that they were having, and just like the I don't know the realizations that they were having of what was happening and how things work, and who sits on top and what does the pyramid look like and who's pulling the chains and who are the puppeteers, and I went pretty deep in some of this sort of this stuff, and they were just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I was just like, "Stick with me. There's a lot of hairy shit in the world. There's a lot of stuff that we're again. Like you brought up the news earlier. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched the news. I couldn't. I honest to God, I could not tell you the last time I sat down and
hey
watched
man,
fucking Channel 10 or Channel 9. Like, why? Why?
yeah,
To
yeah,
listen to what they
yeah,
want to tell you, like that what fits their narrative, just doesn't make any sense to me. Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, it's again, it's a very steep slope that we could go down, but it's yeah, there's a lot of truth behind it as well. And you get called crazy, you get called woo woo, you get
And
called all the names, but I'm okay with that because for me it makes a lot of sense.
100%, bro. There's the biggest thing for me is that like I've been called crazy with this shit my whole life, and I've just come to terms with it. Like if you don't like what I say, all good. You're
Mm,
entitled to your own opinion, as
yeah,
am I. Yeah.
yeah.
But the biggest thing is there's so much cognitive dissonance, man. And for people that
Mm,
don't know what that means, it's the fact that You can show someone evidence,
Yeah.
flat out, black and white proof
Yeah.
that what they're saying or what they've been told is incorrect. And because they don't want to believe the truth,
Yeah.
lights shut off, man.
Absolutely.
Just,
It's
I'm not taking that in.
Yeah, Chris,
Refuse to believe.
it's the same with confirmation bias. It's the exact same
Yeah,
thing. Like if you
yeah,
if you look up and if you actually Google, are energy drinks healthy for me?
yeah,
It'll probably give you some positive results. But if you actually say, are energy drinks bad for me? It'll give you negative results. So
yeah,
if that's how your mind is trained, and it all comes back to that mental state. If you are putting the negatives out there, your brain is going to search through its file and go, okay, he's talking about why he's so fat. Yeah, we're going to show him all these examples as to why he's fat, when he was fat, what the impact was of when he was fat. Whereas if you change the language of what comes out of your mouth,
mm,
your brain will go, cool, okay, so we're flipping that, we're going positive. Let's show him all the positive things that happened when, he spoke positive and all this. That's how it works. That's confirmation bias. Your brain is
yeah,
confirming whatever you ask it and whatever you put out there. Same thing with fucking Google. It
yeah,
just
man.
confirms whatever you fucking ask it,
100%.
you know? So, it's a steep fucking slope, my man. It is a
Oh, man.
steep slope.
Yeah. It's a whole nother podcast worth of conversation, that one.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Before we go,
Yeah, man.
um, Broken Crayons, the Still Color Foundation. You want to talk
Yeah,
that
for
real quick?
sure. I will touch on that real quick. So I, in the midst of making the protector merch that I've come up with,
Yeah,
I decided to, as part of the cost price of the hoodies and shirts that I've released, I found a charity to donate to.
great.
And the one that I chose is Broken Crayon Still Color Foundation. So they're based in WA.
Mm,
The reason why I chose said foundation, it's
mm,
run by a lady named Rachel.
yeah,
I, for want of better words, don't trust charities at
good.
all.
Yeah.
And since the fires, the massive fires that we had pre-COVID, and
Mm,
seeing what the Red Cross did with all the money that just disappeared, man, the whole idea of donating to people really didn't sit well with me. So I actually stumbled across Rachel's foundation. And what I noticed is that it's so small that she is still hands on with the people that she helps.
yeah, wow.
She relocates families that are in abusive scenarios.
Mm,
She puts them into housing. She helps the relocation. They've just bought a truck of their own to do the relocation with.
wow.
Like very, very hands-on lady. She has escaped a domestic violence situation herself. She's overcome that, and now she's doing great things.
Right.
And the one of the biggest things for me that sort of pushed me towards choosing them was that they're currently raising funds to open a safe haven for men and children.
Oh, wow.
Which, look, as far as I'm concerned, that's very fucking new
Mm,
because in the whole world of domestic violence in Australia, people don't believe men can be the victim. They just don't. They
yeah.
don't. Whether it be the police, whether it be the legal system, or whatever it may be, right? And I've had plenty of male stories of women trying to stab them, abuse them, hit them with things, whatever it may be, right? And they try to get the police involved, and the police pretty much laugh at it.
Mm,
And you think, well, there's something wrong there.
mm,
So when Rachel told me that she was actually going to do that, I just said, you know what, like I believe in you, and
yeah.
I have the sort of relationship with her where I can pick up the phone and call her directly and talk to her.
Wow.
So that to me was great reassurance that I was choosing the right sort of foundation to support.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, right? Let's say there was a Red Cross equal for DV in Australia. There may be. I didn't look into the big ones because, like I said, I stay away from them.
Yeah.
But let's say there was. There's no way I could call the director and say, "Hey,
Mm,
man, I want to work with you."
mm,
Bro, you think
no
they take
chance.
phone calls?
No.
Not a chance.
No.
So I chose Rachel for that, like purely for that reason.
Mm,
And I think it's the best thing that I've ever done, because she's brilliant. The work that she does is great.
yeah.
Um, who knows? One day she might go national around
Yeah.
Australia,
Yeah.
but
Great.
WA is a massive place,
Mm,
so it's a good place to start. And
of course.
yeah, she's making massive changes. So I thought, why not help her out while doing something like this?
Love it, dude. That's awesome. That's so good. And I'll put it in. I'll put these links in the podcast notes. But yeah,
Yeah, for
it'd be
sure.
awesome to get the link where people can purchase some of the gear, man. Because I've seen on your stories like people are buying it, like lots of it.
Yeah,
It's
which is
mad.
amazing, man. I'm blown away. Like I was surprised that I sold even one, to tell you the truth. Like I think I'm very self-critical.
Mm,
So I think, oh fuck. I don't know. Sometimes I'm even self-sabotaging. I just think, oh, nothing's gonna come of it. No one's gonna like it. But
mm,
then the traction on TikTok really took off, which was great. And pretty much from the initial video I made on TikTok about it, I had a product within 2 weeks,
amazing.
which stressed me the fuck out because I've never done anything like this before. I've
Yeah,
always wanted to get into clothing of some sort, but I just
yeah,
didn't think it would be this.
yeah.
And I mean, the minor, like there have been minor teething issues, orders have been delayed, things have gone slow. Like the people still are happy to support. You know what I mean? Which is great. And I think any small business that is starting out doing something that they've never fucking done before, there
Yeah,
will be teething issues, man.
of
And
course.
I'll say right now, like if anyone does listen and does put an order in one day, I'm not going to say to you that everything will be a-okay straight away because I'm still learning the ropes. You know, like
Yeah, yeah,
your merch will fucking arrive, I promise.
yeah.
But there are so many issues, like there are so many factors that are at play here that are well out of my control. Like I put an order in, it can be slow from. I actually use a Australian business. I use a business based in Sydney called Original Threads.
Oh, cool.
They do all my printing and whatnot. Um, but even then, because look, I was going to go China base and bring it all in from there, and I just thought, you know what? Why would I do that when this is an Australian issue?
Hmm.
So I chose Original Threads, but even then, there can be issues with transport of garments coming to them. There can be things with printing time. So things go wrong,
Of
right? And
course.
it's teething issues that all small businesses have. But I am amazed at the support so far that we've had
Yeah.
and the money that's been raised for Broken Crayon so far through me. I actually have a prospective order of over 200 and something garments at the moment for a business
Oh,
up in Queensland. So
unreal.
it's incredible, man. It's absolutely incredible what's going on with it.
Yeah.
So I think even one jumper sold, I was a happy man. But there's been a
Yeah.
lot more than one, you
That's
know.
amazing, man. That's
Yeah, so
amazing.
it's great.
It's such a great endeavor, dude. And like to be able to contribute and to facilitate such action to such an
Yeah,
important topic is amazing.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
nuts.
like I said at the start, man, the biggest thing is that so many people talk about it, but no one's doing anything. So I just thought, fuck,
Yeah.
even though it's as small as a shirt and a jumper,
Yeah. Still something.
it's something. You know, it's a start of something.
Yeah. I love that, dude. That's
Yeah.
amazing. It's
Thank
amazing.
you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I I've had a blast talking to you, dude.
100%. It's been a good
It's
old
been
yarn.
awesome. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. We got a lot of commonality, a lot of common threads, which I think is
100%.
really cool. Um, before we sign off, anything you want to let the people know?
Yeah, I will do a shameless plug for my coaching, man.
Do it,
So if
man.
anyone interested in getting a new coach, suss out Mac Coaching on Instagram. I'll give Dean all the links anyway, so they can go on
Yep.
the podcast
Yep.
notes. And if you do find me through here, let me know that you found me off the podcast, and I will put in a discount for you depending on what it is you decide to go ahead with.
Yep.
But thanks for listening, guys, and thanks for having me on, Dean. It's been great.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. Again, I'll put all the links in the podcast notes. So if you
Yep,
do want to reach out, you'll know exactly where to go. I'm Dean. This is Chris, and we'll chat to you later. Thank you so much,
big chalky out.
my man.
See you later, brother.